Alright, so, welcome back to another Patreon request, and this one comes from Cyborg19.99, who asked me to do a non-comic lineup for the League of Assassins. But as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys can start sending me your requests for videos to do here on YouTube. Fucking chair, come on. Anyway, so, for those who are not in the know as to what non-comic lineup is, non-comic lineup is basically a video series I did here, but now it's exclusively on Patreon, where basically what I do is take a comic book team, in this case the League of Assassins from DC Comics, and essentially what I do is make it so that there is now remake the team, or in this case add new members to the League of Assassins, and essentially put together characters from outside of comics. I don't use characters from within comics. I just use characters like from outside comics, such as video games, manga, anime, cartoons, movies, stuff like that. You see where I'm going with this. So anyway, let's get started with this video. So let's talk about it. I got a few on here, starting with Shenhua from Black Lagoon. So Shenhua from Black Lagoon was kind of my first pick on here. She really does fit the League of Assassins fit. Like, she fits into that role where it's a highly trained martial artist who is proficient with blades. I'm pretty sure Ra's al Ghul would look at that and go, "You're in." But the thing of it is that I think Shenhua can be kind of a dumbass sometimes, especially when she's stuck with now obviously Lawton and Sawyer wouldn't be a part of this, but sometimes sometimes Shenhua kind of just runs her way into danger and doesn't think about the consequences, and that kind of backfires sometimes. Just ask the time she ran mouth first into Roberta. Yeah, that shit was not fun for her. Next up, we have Tiger Claw from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The League of Assassins has not shied away from having some metahumans, though they don't like to use a lot of metahuman aid. They have had in the past one or two, they have made the exception for a few metahumans among their ranks. So they do like to have just a few in there, and I think Tiger Claw would definitely be part of this. Tiger Claw makes a lot of sense. He's a great leader, in that either you follow me or I rip your throat out with my teeth. He's also a proficient fighter. He's a master of several forms of hand-to-hand combat and several weapons as well. Tiger Claw could bring a level of experience that could be a vital asset to the League of Assassins. I think they would look at him and go, "Yeah, you're in," even though you are a metahuman. So Tiger Claw would be proficient, and I think if he wasn't part of the Foot Clan, and the other thing that he brings to the table is loyalty, and trust me, he is very lousy with that loyalty. I could definitely see him being 100% in for the cause for the League of Assassins. Absolutely 100%. Next up, we have a twofer here, and that is Slice and Dice from G.I. Joe. If you don't remember Slice and Dice, that's fine. I think they were first introduced in the Deke era of G.I. Joe. I know it would have been way more easier to put in, like, Jinx or Storm Shadow, but that's too easy. Like, that was kind of my thing. I was like, that would be the obvious. Let's go with a little more obscure this time around. Like, let's go a little more obscure and have a little fun with this. And that's why I went with Slice and Dice. Slice and Dice were Arashikage ninjas who are twins, and essentially they were trained in some continuities. They are trained by Storm Shadow, so they're every bit as lethal, and they fight in tandem. So I'm pretty sure the League of Assassins would look at this and go, yeah, these are two people we would love to have on our team and work as a cohesive dual threat. So I'm pretty sure Slice and Dice would get the... Also, it'd be pretty fun, like, out of nowhere, here comes Slice and Dice, and immediately the pun would be, oh god, I see what they're doing, I hate it. So, there you go, Slice and Dice. Next up we have Juri Hanma from Street Fighter. Juri is another meta that I think would be like more of one of their WMD. They do, again, League of Assassins it varies on writers, but I could definitely see Juri being like a WMD in terms of in terms of one of their more aggressive assassins. Juri would also be one of the most unpredictable forces out there, and Raish would definitely have to keep a tight leash on her more than anyone else on here. Well, give or take. Next up, we have Mei from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Mei, this would probably be more like Mei when she was part of Azula's group, and Mei would be more of it. Would definitely be a very proficient master of the blade. I could see her being a excellent fighter, but also kind of like this is a little these League of Assassin guys are a little fucked up. So that one, it would be, how long are you going to stay on here, Mei, before you try to leave? That's a trick question. You can't leave the League of Assassins. Anyway, another dual threat, and this would be another one where Raish would have to keep the leash on these two, and that's Jacqueline Hyena, a pair of, and this would probably be before they got the cyborg implants. So this is them as just regular hand-to-hand fighters and professional mercenaries. Although I could see the League of Assassins overlooking it for even with the cyborg implants, because they've had a few cyborgs in their ranks too. Jacqueline Hyena would be like just demolition all the way through, and another pair of psychopaths just like Juri, where Raish would have to be holding on to that leash pretty goddamn tight. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to our final one, and that is Neapolitan from RWBY. Neo would be a excellent addition to the League of Assassins. I think Raish would be like, oh, you killed RWBY? Here, I can give you purpose. You can join my ranks and continue your training and continue to be trained in forms of lethal combat, and also put more of your powers to better use. Yeah, I could just imagine Neapolitan with the League of Assassin training and being a goddamn nightmare. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my few picks for the non-comic lineup for the League of Assassins. But you guys tell me in the comments below, who would you have in the League of Assassins? What non-comic characters would you have in the League of Assassins? Once again, I'd like to thank Jonathan. Once again, I'd like to thank Cyborg 19.99 for this Patreon request. And as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. And also check out where non-comic lineup actually is, because it's exclusively over there. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.